What's up everybody, this is Derek here with an exciting PUBG Mobile video because the global beta 0.13.5 has just been released. That's right, we have a new beta version to get to, some new patch notes to cover, and let's go ahead and start downloading it right now. So you can see I actually already had the beta installed on my phone just from a previous beta, and all I have to do is click on update. If you don't have the beta currently installed and you want to install it, I'll leave a link in the video description. It'll be the first link there, so be sure to check it out there. So let's go ahead and start the update process, and holy crud, it is rather large. So make sure that you're on Wi-Fi or you have unlimited data, or if you don't have unlimited, make sure that you just manage this download so you don't accidentally go over your data cap, because at least on Android it looks to be about 2 gigabytes. So while this is downloading, it's going pretty quick. We have about 8 minutes to talk about the patch notes, and you guys know that my videos do tend to drag, so let's get right into those patch notes and see if we can beat the download. So there's a lot to get to here. Don't worry if it's a little bit small on your screen, because I'll try to read it in a way that keeps you entertained. Hello everybody, we're pleased to inform you that we have a new beta version, 0.13.5 global beta. Feel free to partake and submit a quick survey. So if you guys do play the beta, I do recommend using that survey link, because the devs do read these things. I know that, you know, it kind of gets lost in the mess that is like millions of people playing PUBG Mobile, you know, with like hacking reports and all that stuff. But this is one of the things that devs actually do look at. I know they look at them. So if you do download the beta and you want to say something, use the survey link and they will be happy. So we have a new weapon, the PP-19, which is going to be a very strong early game weapon. So it's described as the game's 5th submachine gun, and don't worry, I'll be doing another video overview of the PP-19 as well as using it in actual matches and showing you guys how it performs. But basically, here's the rundown. As you can see in the patch notes, it's the 5th submachine gun, so that's very similar to something like a Tommy gun or an Uzi. It fires 9mm just like the Uzi, and it drops only in Erangel and Vikendi. So Vikendi, that's cool, you know, the snow map, everybody likes that. It's kind of the new kid on the block. But what's more interesting to me is that it's dropping in Erangel, because remember, Erangel is the map that's going to be used for all the tournaments, or at least all the big name tournaments. It's one of the most balanced maps. It's the original map, and it's the one that is like the go-to. So the fact that this weapon is going to be in that map means that we are definitely going to have to pay attention to how strong it is, like I said, early game as well as late game, because it is going to be played competitively. So it's a 9mm submachine gun with a detachable oversized magazine of 53 rounds. So that's very similar to the Tommy gun with an extended. Remember, that's 50 rounds of 45. This is 53 rounds just out of the gate. That means it's going to be awesome at suppressing opponents behind positions. If you don't want somebody to move, you know where they are, you can easily suppress them with this. So it doesn't support magazine upgrades, so capacity cannot be increased through attachments. Obviously, it makes sense, because otherwise you're going into M24 or M249 rather territory, and they don't want that, because remember, this is not crate only, you can just pick it up. So it can be equipped, however, with scopes and muzzle attachments, and can be equipped with everything from a red dot through a 6x scope. So that means very similar to ARs there. You've got your red dot holographic, your laser sight, all that fun stuff. Actually, laser sight's going to be a attachment, but that will work too. All muzzle accessories available for submachine guns. And then you have the PP-19 has single shot damage value of 35 and rate of fire similar to the UMP. So it's going to be a little bit slower than a Uzi, and that's actually going to be really good, because for suppression, that means that your 53 rounds of 9mm are going to last longer than something like the Uzi or even the Tommy gun. So it says default magazine size gives it a robust suppressive fire ability, and fewer attachments to add has advantage of being a nearly fully kitted weapon during the early game, but slightly weaker performance late in the match. So definitely sounds like a very, very solid secondary. I can imagine a lot of people are going to be running this even as their primary until, you know, maybe with something like a Car 98 and then this as their secondary then. So I don't know. I want to really jump into the game and see how it actually works before I talk specifics about recommendations recommendations, but it definitely sounds like a pretty cool weapon to fill a niche that isn't really that well explored in PUBG Mobile yet. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be another weapon that's just like the same thing as something else and pretty useless. This actually sounds like it may have a slot to be used competitively. And there are also a good number of season system upgrades. So let's get to those now. I'll just walk through them pretty quickly. We've got the season interface has been redesigned to make it more intuitive and fancier. Whoa. You guys know that we like our fancy school shoes. Get a like for that for this video. We've got a classic mode result screen has been adjusted. Rating and tier changes are now more visible on the screen. Before, they used to be pretty small, especially if you lost ranking and tier protection was in effect. It was really small, top left of the screen, not very easy to understand. So we'll have to see. Like I said, a lot of this we have to see after we actually download it and actually see how these changes affect us. But for now, they sound like good things. Season, let's take a look at that download. Yeah, it's still going. Cool. So Season 8 rewards have been adjusted in Season 8. Entire Season 8 outfits now available at Gold tier. Okay, so good. So now all you have to do is get to Gold tier, play 5 matches in order to unlock that at the end of the season, and reach Diamond tier to get season exclusive weapon finishes. Okay, and Crown or above to get a special team joining effect and name tags, and reach Ace or above to get a permanent season title. Alrighty, cool. So now no longer do you have to work your way all the way up through Ace and the Crown to get the cool stuff. Now you can get the outfits at Gold tier or below, so no excuse, anybody can be Gold tier. Just play a few matches, right, as I bump the microphone, and beyond that, now there are weapon finishes at Diamond, special team joining effects and name tags at Crown, and Ace is a permanent season title, which is nice. That's gonna be Season 8, the title. But rewards will now be automatically sent to players at the end of the season, so no longer do you actually have to remember to collect them from that crate when the next season starts. Now you get them automatically, which is good because I'm sure a lot of people actually forgot to collect them, and that's just a fail. Players will now learn more detailed changes from the previous season at the beginning of each season. Okay, so that's good. I guess we'll learn what's new and it will make more sense. And they have tuned the ranking system's algorithm so to increase the weight of kill points, so kills now have a bigger impact on tier. That is an interesting balance change because remember, PUBG Mobile, PUBG initially was a survival game first, a kills game second. So people were ranking up in PUBG Mobile 2 just by surviving until the final circle, getting like 1 kill or no kills, just playing a very defensive game, and you can actually reach very, very high tiers just doing that game after game. Now they are going to be weighting kills a little higher, so going to be curious to see how that impacts things. I personally think it's a pretty good change just because obviously people like myself play pretty defensively, and I don't think we should be rewarded as well as somebody who's a little more aggressive and potentially gets taken out early, but was going for those early kills, or like I said, more of an aggressive drop style perhaps. So we'll have to see how that was tuned, but it sounds good, makes sense. Transfer rules have been revised starting from Season 8. Tiers below Gold are transferred as is into the next season. So before, if you were, I think it was Silver tier even, you would drop down. So like everybody would drop down at the end of the season. Now it looks like if you are Gold or below, you just go in. So if you're Gold 1 at the end of the season, you'll start the next season also at Gold 1. But you'll still lose some ranking if you're like Crown or Ace. You'll go down, but hopefully not as much as before, because it took quite a bit after you got a new season in order to rank up to where you got to in the previous season. So we'll have to see. But there is that. They've also, a tier inheritance message has been made more clear. Okay, that's a little weird with that translation. Rating reset information for all servers shown in one message. Tier transfer rules will be explained on the website. Okay, so that will, so I'm not really sure. We'll just have to find out, because I'm not sure if that's talking about your independent rankings between servers, because like you could rank up, for example, on Asia server and be bronze 5 in North America, or the other way around. But we will have to see. We're currently staging the app, so that's exciting. The update is commencing. And tier promotion messaging has been improved. Division promotions within a tier will not be shown on lobby. Tier promotions get a fancier display. Once again, the upgrade is this beta is all about fancy. Tier icon visuals have been improved, and high frame rate option has been added to HDR mode for some high-end devices. Okay, cool. Well, that is interesting because we do have a Note 9. As you guys know, it's still a pretty high-end device, and HDR mode, you only used to be able to run it at 1 below smooth. What was that? I forget, like 40 frames per second. You couldn't run 60 FPS with HDR, so we'll have to see if that's an option or not now on the Note 9. They've also done some other improvements. Title visual effects have been tuned. Mythic outfits now shown with weapons drawn. I don't really know if anybody's going to really care too much about this. And then they fixed the bug where players could not move the avatars of their teammates in team deathmatch. Well, actually, that is really annoying, or that was really annoying. So that's good to hear. So again, they fixed the bug where you could not move the avatars of teammates in team deathmatch. So your teams kind of got locked in the wrong way. And it is good to see that they did that. So please download, test the game, let us know what you think. Thank you, and have fun. So with that, let's jump back over here where the game has almost finished installing. So as I said, my initial impressions just reading the patch notes, pretty impressed with this one. There's no mention of just fancier school shoes. It sounds like they're adding a weapon that may have an actual impact in tournament gameplay, which is exciting. It also sounds like they're making some just like UI enhancements as far as the ranking system, the tiers, so that it's easier for us to understand where we fall and you know, at the end of the season what's going to be happening. So holy crud, there's another update. Okay, so after you've just downloaded 2 gigabytes worth of data, know that you have another 152 megabytes to download. So that takes the total size of the Android beta up to about 2.1 gigabytes, right? So let's go ahead. We will restart again. We'll click on beta PUBG Mobile. There we go. And we'll see if we can get into it. So hopefully it loads this time. The reason I'm showing you guys this is because, like I said, if you're on a metered connection and you only have so much data to work with, I want to make sure that you don't accidentally run over your data allotment, however you say that. So let's go ahead and sign in as a guest. It looks like we are good now. So I'm just going to confirm that we are on the beta, and I think we'll just go into the armory and take a look at the new weapon. So we're not actually going to try out in this video just because I don't want this video to go too long. It's already like 12 minutes. Oh my gosh, been talking too long. But don't worry, we will explore that in a future one. I just want to make sure it's actually here. So it should be in the submachine gun. So here's the Uzi, the UMP9, the Vector. That's the one I forgot about before. Then we have the Thompson, and we have the PP-19 Bizon, which looks like it says it fires 9mm rounds, has a large 53 round magazine. That's great for sustained suppressive fire, but it does not have a lot of expandability. But who needs that early game? This is like an epic early game weapon. Who cares that it doesn't have a stock? You can still put a sight on it, which is very important. Like I said, red dot all the way through 6 times. And then, okay, so you can't put the laser sight. I didn't realize that that was an attachment, a grip attachment. So it doesn't have a grip attachment point, but it does have a muzzle, so you can put like a comp on it. So if you're using this for suppressive fire, I'd imagine, depending on your use case, either a suppressor or a comp's going to be best, and then probably something like a red dot, maybe up to 3 times. I can't imagine it's going to be good beyond that, just because it is going to wiggle around quite a bit without the option for a stock or a grip to reduce the recoil. But there you have it. The new beta 0.13.5 just released for global Android and iOS. So my name's Derek G. If you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, consider subscribing if you haven't already for tons more PUBG Mobile content, and I will see you on the battlefield soon or in a future video soon where we will explore that new weapon as well as the other features of this beta.